Hey there, and welcome to True Scary Stories. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling us where you're from and what time you're watching. That helps YouTube know you love creepy stories, and it'll keep sending more your way.
3 scary true OnlyFans horror stories. Hey everyone, before we get started, I just want to say, be careful what you share online, because sometimes the people watching aren't just fans. They're obsessed, they're dangerous, and they know more about you than you think. Tonight, I'm sharing 3 disturbing stories from people who learned this lesson the hard way. These are content creators who thought they were in control until they realized someone had been watching them far too closely. So turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and whatever you do, don't read the comments alone. Let's begin. Story 1. The Regular. So this first story comes from a woman I'll call Maya. She started her OnlyFans account about 2 years ago, mostly as a side income while she was finishing grad school. Nothing too extreme, she said, just lingerie photos, some implied content, that kind of thing. She was careful. She never showed her face fully, never mentioned her real name, and definitely never revealed where she lived. For the first few months, everything was normal. She'd post content, interact with subscribers in the DMs, and cash out her earnings. It was all very transactional, impersonal, safe. But then she started noticing one subscriber in particular. His username was something generic, like JDman89 or something. At first, he seemed like any other regular. He'd tip well, leave nice comments, request custom content every now and then. Maya said he was polite, maybe a little too polite, like overly formal in his messages, always calling her Miss Maya, always thanking her excessively. But hey, polite was better than creepy, right? Wrong. About 6 months in, JDman89 started getting personal. He'd ask her about her day, what she ate for breakfast, if she'd been to the gym. At first, Maya thought he was just trying to build a connection, maybe feel like they had some kind of relationship. A lot of subscribers did that. So she'd give vague answers, like, "No, just had some coffee," or "Yeah, went for a run." But then his questions got weirdier. He asked her what kind of car she drove, what her favorite coffee shop was, if she had any pets. She didn't answer those. She'd just send back a flirty deflection, "Wouldn't you like to know?" and move on. But JDman89 didn't move on. One night, Maya was scrolling through her DMs before bed when she saw a new message from him. It was long, like really long. She almost didn't read it, but something made her open it. It started normal enough. He told her how much he appreciated her content, how she was different from other creators, and how he felt like they had a special connection. But then, toward the end, he wrote something that made her blood run cold. "I hope you enjoyed your iced caramel macchiato today. You looked beautiful in that yellow sundress." Maya's stomach dropped. She had gotten an iced caramel macchiato that day, and she had worn a yellow sundress, but she hadn't posted about it. She hadn't mentioned it anywhere online. Her hands were shaking as she typed back, "How do you know that?" He responded almost immediately, "I just pay attention. You're special to me." Maya's heart was pounding. She blocked him right then and there. Didn't even respond, just blocked him and reported his account. She told herself it was a coincidence. Maybe she'd posted a story on Instagram or something and forgotten. Maybe he was just guessing. But deep down, she knew. He'd seen her in person. The next few days were hell. Maya kept looking over her shoulder everywhere she went, every guy in a coffee shop, every car that lingered too long in a parking lot. She was convinced it was him. She thought about deleting her account, but she needed the money. Grad school wasn't cheap. So she stayed, and she convinced herself she was overreacting. But then, about a week later, she got a package in the mail. No return address, just her name and her apartment address printed on a plain label. Maya's hands were trembling as she opened it. Inside was a small jewelry box, and inside the jewelry box was a silver bracelet with a single charm, a tiny camera, and underneath it a note. "I'm always watching. JD." Maya screamed. She dropped the box and immediately called the police. They came, took a report, told her to document everything, to keep her doors locked, to maybe stay with a friend for a few days. But there wasn't much they could do. No direct threats, no proof of who sent it. She deleted her OnlyFans that night. But here's the thing that still haunts her. A few weeks later, she was going through her phone, clearing out old photos, when she found something she didn't recognize. A screenshot. It was a photo of her apartment building taken from across the street. The metadata said it had been saved to her phone 3 months earlier. She never took that photo, which means someone else had access to her phone, and she still doesn't know how or for how long. Story 2. The Glitch. This second story comes from a guy named Aaron. Yeah, guys have OnlyFans too. Aaron's content was fitness-focused. Workout routines, meal prep, some thirst traps here and there. He had a decent following, made a few $100 a month. Nothing crazy, but enough to help with rent. Aaron was tech-savvy. He worked in IT, knew about online privacy, used a VPN, kept his personal social media completely separate from his OnlyFans account. He thought he was safe. But then the messages started. At first they were harmless. Flirty DMs from subscribers, requests for custom videos, standard stuff. But then one account, username WatcherX, started sending him things that didn't make sense. The first message was just a timestamp. 2:47 a.m. That was it. No context, no follow-up. Aaron figured it was a typo or a glitch and ignored it. Maybe someone had butt-dialed the DM feature or something. But then, the next night, another message came through. This time at 11:53 p.m. You should close your curtains. Aaron's chest tightened. He looked up from his phone, across his apartment toward his bedroom window. The curtains were open. They usually were. He lived on the 4th floor and his window faced another apartment building across the courtyard. He'd never thought anything of it. But now... He got up slowly, walked over, and yanked them shut, his heart beating faster than it should have been. His mind was racing. It was probably just a lucky guess, right? Lots of people forget to close their curtains. It was generic advice, could mean anything. But then less than a minute later, his phone buzzed again. He looked down at the screen. Too late. I already saw. Aaron's skin went cold. He looked around his apartment, suddenly feeling like he was being watched from every angle. He checked every window, every lock on every door. Nothing. All secure. He even checked his closets, under his bed, behind the shower curtain. Nothing. He told himself he was being paranoid. This was just some troll messing with him, trying to freak him out. It was working, but still, just a troll. But the messages didn't stop. Over the next few days, WatcherX kept sending him things, small details, personal things, things that made Aaron's blood run cold every time. Your blue hoodie looks comfortable. He'd been wearing his blue hoodie all day, the one he wore around the apartment when he was editing videos. You should really fix that cabinet door in your kitchen. The cabinet door next to his sink had been hanging crooked for weeks. He kept meaning to tighten the hinge. I liked the pizza you ordered last night. Good choice with the pepperoni and jalapenos. That was his exact pizza order from the night before. Large pepperoni and jalapenos from the place down the street. Aaron was losing it. He wasn't sleeping. He'd lie awake at night, staring at his ceiling, wondering how this person knew so much. He changed all his passwords, OnlyFans, email, social media, everything. He ran virus scans on his laptop and phone. Nothing. Clean. He checked his apartment for hidden cameras, bought one of those RF detector things off Amazon that's supposed to find wireless signals, swept every room. Nothing. He even called his landlord to ask if anyone had requested access to his unit for maintenance or anything. No one had. He couldn't figure out how this person knew so much. And then one night, he got a message that made everything click into place. You looked good in that video. The one you filmed today. The one you haven't posted yet. Aaron's blood ran cold. He had filmed a video that day, a custom request for a subscriber, a specific workout routine, shirtless, shot in his living room, but he hadn't uploaded it yet. It was still sitting in his drafts folder on his laptop, which meant Watcher X had access to his files, to his computer. He slammed his laptop shut like it had burned him. His mind was racing. How long had someone been in his system? What else had they seen? His bank information, his passwords, his location? He immediately enabled two-factor authentication on every account he had, changed every password again, this time to random strings of characters he stored in a password manager. He deleted the OnlyFans app from his phone. He was done. He didn't care about the money anymore. But before he could shut everything down completely, one last message came through. He looked at his phone. See you soon, Aaron. His real name. His actual real name. Not his stage name, not his username. Aaron. His hands were shaking. He wanted to throw his phone across the room. Aaron didn't sleep that night. He sat in his living room with every light on, a kitchen knife on his lap, staring at the door, waiting for someone to knock, waiting for someone to try the door handle. No one ever did. But the next morning, when he checked his laptop, he saw something that made his stomach drop. His webcam activity log showed that it had been active for 3 hours during the night, from 1:47 a.m. to 4:51 a.m. And he hadn't turned it on. He had put tape over the webcam weeks ago, after the first creepy message, but someone had still activated it, had still tried to watch. Aaron took his laptop to a tech repair shop that same day, told them he thought he had spyware. The guy ran a deep scan, checked everything, found nothing. Your system's clean, man. Whatever was there, it's gone now. Probably got wiped when you changed your passwords. But that didn't make Aaron feel any better, because Watcher X had been in his system for who knows how long, had watched him through his webcam, accessed his files, tracked his location. And whoever they were, they had his real name, his real information. Aaron moved 2 weeks later, broke his lease, paid the penalty, didn't care. He moved to a different neighborhood, got a new laptop, a new phone, knew everything. He never went back to OnlyFans. But sometimes late at night, he still puts tape over his webcam, just in case. Story 3. The Meetup. This last story is probably the most disturbing. It comes from a woman I'll call Vanessa. She'd been doing OnlyFans for about a year and had built up a pretty solid subscriber base. She was smart about it, never showed identifying tattoos, always blurred backgrounds, used a stage name. She had her system down. But Vanessa made one mistake. She agreed to meet a subscriber in person. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a terrible idea. And you're right. But here's the thing. This subscriber had been with her since day one. He'd spent thousands of dollars on her content over the course of a year. Custom videos, tips, private messages. He seemed normal, professional even. He told her he was a business consultant, traveled a lot for work, just wanted to support creators he believed in. His username was Marcus.Travels. They'd been messaging for months at this point. Not just transactional stuff, actual conversations. He'd ask her about her day, her hobbies, her goals. He told her about cities he'd visited, restaurants he'd tried, books he'd read. It felt normal, like talking to a friend. Marcus never pushed boundaries, never asked for anything weird, never got sexual in the DMs outside of the content he was paying for. He was respectful, kind even. So when, after about 10 months of regular interaction, Marcus asked if she'd be interested in meeting up for coffee, Vanessa actually considered it. "I'll be in your city for work next month. Would love to say thank you in person for all the great content. Just coffee, public place, no pressure. Totally understand if you're not comfortable." Vanessa hesitated. She knew the rules. Never meet subscribers. Never cross that line. Keep it digital. Keep it safe. But Marcus had always been so respectful. And honestly, she was curious. After a year of messages, she kind of felt like she knew him. So she said yes. They agreed to meet at a busy Starbucks downtown at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. Vanessa told her best friend everything, showed her Marcus's profile, his messages, his photo. Her friend wasn't thrilled about it, but she agreed to come along and sit at a nearby table, just in case. Vanessa wasn't stupid. She took precautions. The day came. Vanessa showed up 15 minutes early, scoped out the place, made sure there were plenty of people around. Her friend grabbed a table by the window with a clear view of the whole coffee shop. Marcus showed up right on time. He looked exactly like his profile pictures, mid-30s, clean-cut, business casual. Friendly smile. Normal. He waved when he saw her, walked over, shook her hand. "Vanessa, it's so great to finally meet you." They got coffee and sat down at a small table. And honestly, it was nice. He asked about her life, her goals outside of content creation, told her she was smart for monetizing her platform, said he admired her work ethic. He talked about his job, his travels, showed her photos from a trip to Iceland he had taken recently. It was all very pleasant. Too pleasant. After about an hour, Vanessa was starting to relax. This wasn't weird. This was just two adults having coffee. Marcus had been nothing but respectful. And as they were wrapping up, Marcus reached into his bag and pulled out an envelope. He said, "Before I forget, a little extra tip for your time today." And inside was $500 in cash, crisp bills, still bound with a bank wrapper. Her eyes widened. "Oh my God, Marcus, you don't have to." He said, "I want to. You took time out of your day to meet me. I appreciate that." Vanessa was stunned. She thanked him profusely. They said goodbye, exchanged a quick hug, and he left. She met back up with her friend, and they both laughed about how weirdly normal it had been. "See," Vanessa said, "not all subscribers are creeps." But that night, Vanessa started getting messages from Marcus again. "It was so nice to finally meet you. You're even more beautiful in person. I can't stop thinking about you." At first, Vanessa didn't think much of it. She sent back something polite. "It was nice meeting you too. Thanks again for the coffee." But the messages kept coming. Every few hours. Then every hour. "When can we meet again? I'd love to take you to dinner. You're so easy to talk to. I feel like we really connect." Vanessa tried to keep it professional, friendly, but firm. She told him she'd had a nice time, but that she didn't make a habit of meeting subscribers, that it was a one-time thing. Marcus didn't take the hint. "I understand, but I think we have something special. Don't you feel it? I can't stop thinking about your smile. Where do you live?
Maybe I can visit more often. Vanessa's stomach was starting to churn. She stopped responding, hoping he'd get the message. He didn't. The messages got more frequent, more intense, more possessive. Why aren't you answering me? Did I do something wrong? I spent so much money on you, the least you could do is talk to me. And then one night, about a week after they'd met, Vanessa got a message that made her blood run cold. I'm outside. Vanessa's heart stopped. She was sitting on her couch, watching TV in her pajamas. She looked at her phone, read the message again, convinced she'd misread it. But she hadn't. I'm outside. Her hands were shaking as she got up and crept toward her front window. She peeked through the curtains, her heart hammering in her chest. There was a car parked across the street, engine off, headlights dark. And someone was sitting in the driver's seat, just sitting there, staring at her building. Vanessa's breath caught in her throat. She stumbled backward, nearly tripping over her coffee table. She grabbed her phone and called 911 with trembling fingers. Someone's outside my house, she whispered to the dispatcher. He's been stalking me. He's sitting in his car watching my apartment. The dispatcher was calm, asked for her address, told her the police were on their way. Stay inside, lock your doors, don't go outside. Vanessa ran to her door, checked the lock, checked it again. She checked every window, then stood in her living room, phone clutched in her hand, waiting. The police arrived within 10 minutes. She watched from her window as the patrol car pulled up, lights flashing. But by the time the officers got out and walked toward the car across the street, it was gone. They took a report, asked her questions. Did she know who it was? Did she have any proof? Had he threatened her? She told her everything. About OnlyFans, about Marcus, about the meetup, about the messages. The police were professional, but she could see it in their faces, that same look the cops had given Maya. What did you expect? They told her the same thing. Call us if he comes back. But Marcus didn't come back. Not that night, anyway. Instead, he started sending her photos. Photos of her apartment building from different angles, her car in the parking lot, the coffee shop she went to every morning, the grocery store she shopped at, the gym she worked out at. He wasn't threatening her. He didn't say he was going to hurt her. He just wanted her to know he was there, that he was always there, watching, following. I just want to be close to you. Why aren't you answering me? We're meant to be together. Vanessa moved out the next day, broke her lease, packed what she could carry, left everything behind. She moved to a different city 2 hours away, stayed with a friend while she found a new apartment, changed her name on all her documents, got a restraining order against Marcus, though she didn't even know his real last name. She never heard from him again after that. But sometimes, late at night, she still checks the locks on her doors 3 times before bed. She checks her windows, checks her car before she gets in, looks over her shoulder when she walks to her mailbox. Because she knows he's still out there somewhere, watching, waiting, remembering the way she smiled at him over coffee that one Saturday afternoon when she made the biggest mistake of her life. So yeah, 3 stories. 3 people who thought they were safe behind a screen. The internet makes us feel anonymous, protected. But the truth is, there's always someone watching. And sometimes they're closer than you think. If you've got a story like this, feel free to share it in the comments. Or don't. Maybe it's better to keep some things to yourself. Thanks for listening. And remember, close your curtains, lock your doors, and maybe think twice before you share too much online. I'll see you in the next one.